Hello and welcome to another SpeedPaint video. This SpeedPaint features an old character of mine. Their name is Hoodie, although I also call them Space Face. I see a lot of artists with OCs kind of similar to Hoodie in that they make no sense really anatomy-wise. There's no explanation for their existence, just that they threw a bunch of random characteristics together that ended up being really fun to draw. So like Hoodie, they kind of become a go-to character when there's like no other inspiration or ideas. This piece is also a remake of a watercolor that I did, I believe, last month. I'm not super confident with my traditional art skills. Sometimes I might scan in a sketch that I did in my sketchbook to complete digitally, but rarely do I ever take a traditional piece from sketch to finish in a traditional format. So when I finished this watercolor piece, I wasn't confident with the end result. However, I liked the pose and the composition so much, especially with the circle behind the character that really directs your focus and makes the character pop. I liked it so much that I wanted to redo it digitally. I did change the palette a lot from how it originally was, mostly because when I did it with paint, I used a like gold foil acrylic, and that's a bit difficult to replicate digitally. So I pretty much scrapped the palette and tried something new, and I think it worked out pretty well. I also wanted to practice something new in this piece. Usually my technique involves very crisp line art, whereas here I wanted to do something more painterly or lineless. I felt like it would look really well with the piece and the composition. And I feel like overall it was really good practice to get into that technique. However, I definitely will need more practice before I'm truly satisfied using, a lineless method. I do enjoy how the clothing and the folds turned out. I believe that's probably my favorite part of the piece. However, I also think the hands and the feet could use a lot more work. There's a lot of internal structure when it comes to hands and feet. That's why they're always like really complicated to draw. A lot of little bones moving around in there. So I think with this lineless method, it was really difficult to demonstrate the inner structure. So for the process that I used during this lineless art, after I made a very solid sketch, I used the selection tool to map out the flat colors of the character. And then after that was done, I went back with the selection tool again to pick the shadows and the highlights, kind of like how one would do for a cel shaded piece. Instead of using the bucket tool to fill it with one flat color, I took a textured brush and made it more of a gradient. Yes, this piece was just kind of like a practice piece. I do think there could be improvement, however, still I feel like it was a pretty solid attempt. I enjoyed getting out of my comfort zone and trying something new, whereas usually I stick strictly to line art or cel shading, really just like mild rendering, if even that. So after I watched several tutorials, it really inspired me to want and give this technique a shot. During this process, I was also surprised how many references I had to look up. I think a lineless method requires a lot of shading to define the shapes, so I felt like I had to look up very specific references just to see how lighting affects certain things that I don't usually care about. I also enjoyed getting to revisit my old character, Hoodie. I would love to draw them again and include them in maybe a animated meme if I find one that fits. I'm actually currently working on another animated meme right now. I'm planning to release it early next month, so keep your eye open for that if you're interested. It was so nice to receive so much positive feedback from my last animated meme, especially because it was really my first time posting one, and it just got me overall excited to share more animations with the community. Animation truly is my passion. It's unfortunate that it takes so long to do. If I could, I would pump out animated memes every single week. But other than that, that's going to about wrap it up for this SpeedPaint video. Thank you all so much for watching, and I hope you have a great day.